And he sort of marched into the hall, straight through the hall, into the kitchen, and he grabbed a piece of cake that Chris had prepared, and he said, "Oh, this is not bad." And then he walked in and he sat down waiting for his coffee. And I thought, well, okay, that is with Michelle, and we must be polite, he must be with Michelle. And then the second time he came round, and again for coffee. And this time we got some very expensive Taste the Difference stemmed ginger Sainsbury's biscuits. And he had a handful of those and immediately said, "Not very gingery, are they?" So we excused him that fact as well, mainly because he brought Sky, and Sky, as you know, is the love of our lives, and we'll forgive him anything at all. But so it wasn't a very good start. And then, following that, we had a fabulous email from Michelle. I don't know if you've had it. If you haven't had it, request it and we'll send it to you. But it was the philosophy of George Carlin. And George Carlin is a 102-year-old fella. And it came with some magnificent photographs. If you haven't had it, please ask us and we'll send it on to you. It's well worth seeing. But the philosophy, and I'll read it here because I don't want to misrepresent George Carlin. He said up to 10 you deal in fractions. So you're 4 and a half, you're 6 and a half, you're getting up to 7 and a quarter, you never quite reach 10 and so forth. And then from the teens, it's the other way around. If you're 30, you're almost 60, you know, because you want to be down at the pub and drinking and so forth. And then you reach 21. And then after 21, you turn 30, and it rapidly goes very, very quickly. And you're pushing 40, and some of you are getting that way. And then you reach 50, this is all George Carlin, and then you make it to 60. So what's 60 brought to Danny? Well, I think it's only a couple of weeks or so, of course, but a couple of things that have happened since then. He went on holiday to Tunisia. They had a wonderful time. The weather was glorious, their food was great, the hotel was superb. But Michelle one night said, "Oh, I'm off to bed. I'll see you in a minute, I'm just off to bed. I'll leave you just down here." So what happened? At midnight the bar closes. So the bar attendant say, "Excuse me, sir," and they have to wake him up. Asleep on a pillow, still with his drink in hand, and they sent him to bed. Never spilled a drop. Never spilled a drop. Within a week, "Where are my specs? I can't find my specs." Michelle, where are my specs? They're on your nose. Oh yes, there they are. So he's reached 60. Fortunately, I've had a word with the governor up at Lancaster, and he said, "We are so grateful that he's met Michelle. He comes in now with his uniform on, with his epaulets, because he can't always find them, because sometimes they're in the washer. He's got all his keys, he knows what shifts he's on. He is so lucky to have a young chick still in her 40s. But no one's forgotten." Where are we? So, that's about it, I think. No, it isn't.
Oh, God.
Second page. So the second page, don't we? So, Danny, as you head towards
70.
Yep. Remember the words of George Carlin. Again, I must read these off. Throw away the non-essential numbers, particularly age and weight. That doesn't matter at the moment, but it might well do, because you've 10 years to go, haven't you? Keep only your cheerful friends. Discard all the others. Keep doing your daily express crosswords, because that keeps your mind alive. Laugh often, long and loud. Good old George Carlin. And remember, life isn't about the number of breaths you take. It's about the the time something takes your breath away. And surround yourself with what you love, which is why we're all here tonight. Danny, all the very best on your 60th birthday.
Cheers, Danny. Cheers.
Speech! Speech!
Can we have it in English, please?
Do you pull a toilet roll out? No, stop.
It's a good, that's why I was going to go to the next one. But unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, as some people know, during speeches I tend to get a bit too emotional, so I will keep it short. You did mention about keeping the chapel friends around in discarding the others. I don't think there's anybody in this room. There's no one in this room I would discard. I think since I met Michelle, who makes me laugh loud every single day, and the company that's in here, I don't think I've laughed as much as I've laughed over this past year. And before I started going and blubbering like I knew it, I'd just like to thank you all very much for coming down tonight and making such a special night for me. Thank you very much.
Well, cheers.
Well done.
Well done, Danny.